Hi, I want to finish up the last couple of points here. In this last point, I'm not sure exactly where it cut off, so I wanted to make sure we covered this, that these are the points that could be supported by Whistling Vivaldi. And so Whistling Vivaldi is a good source in that it gives theory that's general, but could then be used to apply to interactions between law enforcement officers or their agents and the public, or in particularly people of color who can be racially profiled. So cops, what a point you can say is cops and people of color are triggered with stereotype threats about each other. So cops, you'll see, might have their only experiences of interacting with a group of a certain racial orientation might be in policing for crime. And if that's the case, that could shadow their view of people of that race. Okay. Similarly, if the only time people of color see cops is when someone is getting abused or there's a problem and they're seen as a threat to their community, that can impact their view as well. And so the second part that Whistling Vivaldi makes is this idea that when we are dealing with stereotype threat, particularly if there's danger involved, we are both anxious, okay, whether we realize it or think we are or not. And you can see in some of these videos that you're going to watch, like the Frontline video or the 13th, or even some of the videos where it shows the resource officers, you will see that people are impacted by this. We need to have a narrative in order to remove stereotypes. So if your narrative, and this goes back to the Vernee Myers video about implicit bias, if your narrative about, let's say, African American men are that they're diverse, they're successful, they know where they're going, all the things she kind of talks about in that video, that might change then how you interact, and that might change the threats that are apparent and in those interactions. And so we need police and people of color to have these relationships. The Chip Huth video, the TED Talk, is an excellent example of that, and why we need sort of more of that happening, where cops take the stand of trying to make things better and understanding how it can benefit them in the long run. Okay, so what I want to do now is to kind of show you where to find a couple things. Okay. And one last point here is I do want to have conferences and interactions, so we can do Skype, or we can use the conference tab on Canvas. I'm available tomorrow from 1 to 2 and also 5 to 6, or by appointment. You can text me at my phone there to set up a time that works for you. Okay. But what I also want to do is to go back here and to show you on the site a couple of things. So if you click on our class, over here on the left is library resources, and again, conferences, if you want to conference with me, is there. Library resources is here, and when you click in, you can go and ask a question of a librarian, but the best part is to go here to the database list, and then you want to choose this one, Academic Search Premier. Once you do that, you'll need to log, unless you're on a campus computer that's logged in. If you're on the internet, or on Wi-Fi or at home, you'll need to log in. And once you log in, this is a really good resource. There's 2 steps though you need to take. You first need to hit Advanced Search, and you also want to hit Full Text, so that this database, basically, if you've ever been online and you looked for a source and it says, okay, you can have that article, but it costs $3 or something. We subscribe at Foothill to thousands of journals, and so it's a way to look for something and not just get something from Google that's had the most hits, but actually has the quality of information you're looking for and focused. You hit full text because there's also summaries available here of sources and not just full ones, and so you want that. Okay, so for example, you want to put in racial profiling, and then maybe here, well, first let me just show you what happens if you just put racial profiling in. you'll get like a lot of sources, over 900, which would be really hard to go through all of those. There's ways to, there's ways to set that up, but I think or ways to limit it, sorry, and you can, but one of the things is you can add something, you want racial profiling, and let's say high schools. Let's see what comes up with that, or high school. Okay, and so that narrows it to 13, how it impacts students. And so you're going to do a lot of these to see what works and what you can find. You can try one, let's say you want to do airports. I think airports, let's see. There's 30 here, right? Okay, so once you come here, you'll notice that each source has the type, periodical, academic journal. Periodical means newspaper, okay, or magazine. Academic journal is a peer-reviewed journal. So you do want 2 academic journals, but you can also do some periodicals, especially if it's about your case. And like here's one for it, racial profiling. Once you click on one of these, right, the full PDF is here that you can then download, but you can also over here, I'm going to turn off the video on me for a second. Let's see. Oh, it's hiding. I don't know if it's hiding me or not. Hopefully it is. Over here you can email it to yourself, save it like to your computer. You can also put it onto Google Drive or add it to a folder or print it. Okay. And once you do that, if you add it to a folder, and then you go back to your results list, and let's say you also want this one, and you add it to a folder, and go back to results list. What happens if you look up here, you'll notice that your folder, you have a folder view. So you can just click on the ones you want, make them into a folder, and then go to your folder to kind of decide what to do with them and to compare them. You can put them next to each other. The nice part about this is once you have them out, a couple of the things you can do in addition to saving and exporting them. Once you open it, you'll notice on this side there is a button here for citation. Sorry. So when you click on the citation button, for all of you who hate to do like your works cited page, you scroll down to MLA and you can actually just go like this and cut and paste and copy and paste your citation for the source. So this makes it really nice for you when it's time to actually put together your works cited and your annotated bibliography. Okay, so if you are not using this and you are, let's say you have an online article or a video, another source I suggest is to use Easybib. You can, for MLA format, use it for free. APA you have to pay. But if you choose MLA and then you hit is it a website, a book, a video, a journal, and then you type in the info and it'll give you the citation. So that's something you can consider as well. Okay. So hopefully that gives you some ideas about what you want to, about putting together your resources, and hopefully this has been helpful to be able to see some of this and where it comes from on the site. Again, I put a link to the general library website on the lecture, first part of the lecture, if you want to do that as well. So please try to see me, conference, we can talk about it. I'm going to do probably another lecture breaking down some samples of different research papers and kind of looking at the qualities of them. So I don't want to give you a lot of busy work, but I want to give you enough up front so you can get started. So please let me know if you have any questions about the process, and look at the first video first. Okay? Thanks.